So hello everyone, this is Coding with Ojas. Today I will be showing you 4 tips to make your code better. So without any further time waste, we are going to start our video. So tip number 1. So if you ever use variables, I'm sure you might have used it something like this. Variable is equal to maybe some str. You might have used the variables like this, or 1, 2, 3, or tr true. Okay, so this is booleans and all of these, you know all of these, but actually there is a better way to write variables. This will help you and even other developers who are you are sharing these project with. So this method is usually used in complex programs. Even though you use small programs, you should still use this what should I call it, feature. Okay, so let's make a str string. Now here what you can do is add an annotation. An annotation in Python is actually when you describe the type of the variable by this, like here you can do this and str. So this is mostly helps in maybe marking out what a variable would be. You can use this to actually annotate any variable. So maybe you can declare a variable and then assign it later. This is kind of like how C and other Java languages work. So you already define it. Now you can add anything to it. So I could make an str. So now the thing about this, it is actually nice. It actually makes your code more readable, and also sometimes you can use this annotation for help. So let's say maybe you actually made this in your program, and after a lot of lines later in your very big program, you add this as something like this, 1, 2, 3. Now Python will use squiggly lines to say that this was a string. This variable is a string, not a number, not an integer. So this will help you to remember this. So this annotation will help you to remember what a variable would be. So this way you will make your code more readable, and it will become easy for you. It's just one line of code, and you can also do something like this. You can cut this and add this over here. This is also work. So it just kind of makes Python more like Java only, but yeah, it is much better. It makes your code more readable. So let's move on to tip number 2. So this will be a function thing. So define, let's make a funct function here, and in this function what it will do is take some parameters, a name. And one thing that I can tell you, to be honest, it's kind of a bonus tip. You can use like annotations on parameter like this, string. Now the thing about this is that it makes your code easier to write, because sometimes if in your code you might just let's say maybe you wanted that context menu. Let's remove this annotation. So now if you write a name and you want to use its string methods, but using the context menu, and you use dot, it gives us all the methods of the string, because our program doesn't know that this is this name parameter is a string. So what you can do is add this str next to it. So now if you write a name and then dot, it will give you all the functions of all the methods of string. So this will make your code more easier. So let's move on to the tip number 2, which is the actual tip. So what this function will do is it will return a function. It will return a formatted string which is hello hello, and then name. So now what you can actually add here is this thing here. This is an arrow operator. This just tells your program that this is going to return an string. Now to be honest, the compiler already knows that this is a string, and but if you just put it here, let's say maybe this function is very big with a lot of code here. So let's say maybe you share this with another developer. The developer would not be able to understand that what will it return, what will this function return. So to fix this only, we have these. This will just make your code more readable, and you cannot add this. If you want, you just can leave this, or you can, let's say maybe your function is not returning anything, maybe it's printing it. Print. Maybe your function is just printing it, not returning anything. So what you could do is type here none. This will also just make your code more readable also. Let's say maybe a developer sees this function and it has to read all of this to find the return statement, but then maybe like in the end there is no return statement, so he would waste his time, right? So if we add this, a developer could know that this is already will return none only, it will return nothing. So that's why this will also be helpful. Let's move on to tip number 3. So this is this is also in function only. Define square, square, and this will take a parameter which is an int, or we could also put it as a float, but for demonstration purposes we are going to put it as int. So here what we could add is, here what will this return is, we can also add the arrow operator. It will return an int. So return a into a. So this is just a simple function that returns the square of the number. But to make this more easier, what you could do, maybe like you saw some functions in your program maybe, and then you were like, oh my gosh, this has such good documentation. Maybe you just like have print, and maybe you just click on it and it has a very beautiful document. Not like this is not a beautiful documentation, but it might have a beautiful documentation that says what does it do. So you can also do this too. You can also add this to your function. So how you can do that is by adding triple double quotes. So between this, we do not need this. So in between this, you can add here args, args, and here in args we can have a, which is going to return a. It is an integer that will be squared. So what this do is it will give a nice like representation in your program. I'm sure there is also, you must add here like an int and then something like this. Not really sure. Yeah, I think it has to be like that too. So, and you can have return. by the way, you must put it like this. Return. Oops, not this, not the arg. I don't know. Okay, arg. So here in this return one, you can add. What's the problem here? Okay, I think you just have to add it like this. So here you can add what it will return. It will return an integer. It is the squared squared number. Now basically what this will do is it will just give a nice representation. So if I write here print square square of maybe 7. Okay, so here wait, no. Okay, so here the documentation comes actually, but it is not in a nice format. So I think the cause of this might be that arg. Okay, I don't know what was that, but so basically these are kind of advanced for you. So what you could actually do is just add some things here, like maybe you could add what this function will do. It will return the square of a number, or maybe you could write this functtion function. So hey, this is future ojas here. Time travel from the future to past. So here this function gives the square of a number. What you could do to make it beautiful, I was trying to make it there, but yeah, this problem happened. So here what you could do is param, and here you type a, the number, the parameter, and then what you add is another colon, and then right here the number. You can write here the number to be squared. Now it shows some squiggly lines. The reason for that is the number to be squared gives the square of the number to be squared. Now, and here you could also write type a, and right here it is an integer. Then you could also write return. It will return an float, and this float is the squared number. So this you can make your code more documented. And now let's save this, and now if we look here, it should give a nice documentation. Params a, the number to be squared. So, and then I think you must scroll down. Okay, so the number to be squared params, so here, but and you also type, it just shows here, I guess. And return float, a square number. So I think what the problem is that you are returning a float. It doesn't know what are you returning. So like you must keep this in a variable. So like this, Control X, and b will equal to this, and then b, and this return an integer, or b. It is the squared number. Now if we look at the documentation for this, the number to be squared. So I mean at least it gives the for the parameters. Oh my gosh, my scroll is down. So anyways, this is how you can make your code more documented. Yeah, and I'm from the future, trust me man, I'm from the future. So this is the tip number 3. Let's go to tip number 4. So in tip number 4, this will be about guard clauses. Now what are guard clauses? I will explain you with an example. So let's say maybe if user, first we will declare variables. This will be bool, and this is wait no, not user, it is like what could we put? Okay, I got an example. So if user paid has, let's put has paid is equal to true, and has internet, it is also an bool, is equal to true, and is online, it is also an bool, which is equal to true. So now let's say maybe you want to check if the user has paid and has an internet and is online, then it will do something. So what normal people would do mostly is do it something like this. We are going to put this in a function because it is more clear. Here define, let's call it main. It won't take any arguments, like no sorry, it won't take any parameters. So here what we could add is how what normal people would do is mostly like this. If so this main will actually mostly return none. So how mostly normal people would do is like this, something like if has paid, like how normal people would do is like this, if has paid, and then maybe like then he will do something like this. The user would do something like this. If has internet, and now I'm doing this for short form because it will just Python will mostly think it is checking for if it's true. So if has internet and if is online. So now what we could do is like print now what we could do here is here we can print your user is online, and what normally people would do is else print user is offline, then something like this, else print internet else paid. So here we are done. So normally people would do something like this. So this is kind of also right, but it kind of makes it unreadable. Let's say like an developer is reading this main function because it wants to know what it does. Okay, we could add a documentation here, but let's say maybe you didn't add because it's a small program. So it would read here has paid, has internet is online. If has paid, it will do all of this, else this, and in this if has internet, then it will do, else it will do this, and it would just kind of be unreadable. It like, let's say maybe you have like lots of else if statements looped inside. So this is just like not consistent. This is kind of like unreadable. So to fix this, what you can do is delete all of this, and then here, instead of doing all of this, what you could do, I'm going to remove these extra lines, they are kind of useless. So first, what you could do, if has, let's just say maybe, for simplicity I will just add FALC, or else what you could have done is, oh my gosh, what? Okay, I think Python just removed this recently. Okay, so what, wait, oh my gosh, this all is just not readable. So we will invert this condition. What we will do is invert it. So what we could do, invert it. If not, okay, yes. So what you could do is not has paid. Oh my god. Paid. What we will do instead is, here we will add print. So this is the guard clauses technique which I will do right now. So what we will do here is type here print if not has paid. So we will just print user has not paid, and now, and then what we will add here is return. So now what this return means, I know some of you might be confused why you might be like, oh, just why are you adding a return with nothing else? It is because when you add return with nothing, it will just think that it is just skip. Whenever you just add return, it will just return none only, like this only. It will just return none. So, and also there's one more thing. If you type return, what it does is it exits the function when it's called. So here if we added return, now we can add if not has internet print, what are we going to print? User has no internet, and what we are going to do, return. So, and then we are going to add if not is online. Here we can add US here user is offline, and then return. Then what we could add is, if all of this has been fulfilled, if like none of these statements have worked, then in the final we will add print user is online. So now what will happen is that this code is more readable. If a developer just sees this, it would be like his has paid, true, has internet, true, is online, true, if not has paid, print this and that. So now the developer will be easily read this. So like now it is more readable and more nicer. So now if I can show you that this will just work the same as the normal one only. Here we are going to do, and here we are going to add. Now this is also another bonus tip you could do if name is equal to main. So actually I'm going to explain you what this does. This is actually just checks if your code has been run as main or a module. So if this code was run as a module, then this would have been something like tip for __ tip for __, as it will be the program's name. So what we are doing here is actually checking if this name is equal to main. So then it will run this code. Let's say maybe you made a very useful function and made it public for everyone. So like maybe somebody else uses this code, then, and if you don't add this and just simply write main, what will happen if I like import this module to tip 3 here maybe, then it will actually run this main function, because it's not like Python. Whenever Python imports a module, it actually runs the module while importing, because when it imports it also runs. Okay, so that's why what you could do is you can add this to this here. Now the program will be like, if name is equal to main, if it's equal to the module name, nothing will happen. But if it's equal to main, meaning this current file only, then it will run this. So okay, let's test this. All user has paid, so user has paid, has internet and is online, so user is online. Now let's do one thing. Let's make this has paid, let's make this is online to false. False. So now if we run this, it will say user is offline. So then maybe we could also turn this to false. Let's run this back to true, so that I could prove you that even if after a return statement the code is not run. The code just stops running and then it just skips over the function. So here if I run this, it won't run that user is online. Like it won't run that user is online thing, this one. It will just stop here only, and look, it prints user has no internet and then it ends, because we had the return statement. Now this also, now if we do it again, if we have has paid equal to false, true. Okay, if has paid is false, user has not paid, so it doesn't run all of this code. That is the specialty of card clauses. They just work as same as multiple if and else statements only. So this is tip number 4, and these are all the tips I showed you in today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm sure you might have learned some new things about it, and I recommend you to use all of these tips. These can be very helpful. So I hope you enjoyed the video and have a nice day.